Right, hello everyone, and welcome back to Warren's Team Talk. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope that you're all well and healthy and having a great day. So, what I'm going to do today, I'm going to try to review Arsenal's 2021-2022 season so far. We're going to look at the league, the Premier League results. We're going to look at the League Cup run, and we're going to look at the players' performances, the team's performance as a whole. Do a little bit of a comparison with what happened last season as well, and just generally have a chat about it as well if you fancy it. So please feel free to come into the chat and answer. Ask me anything you want to ask me, or put your opinions in. I'd be absolutely delighted to see that. So, without further ado, final thing before we get started, I just wanted to remind everyone that this Saturday there will be no Saturday Match Day Live video because when I mentioned that in the video I did reviewing Premier League Match Day 11, I forgot that there was an international break. So good old Warren, he did it again. And as Lee Judges would say, he did it again, the dirty little. So, yeah, I did it again. There'll be no Match Day Live this Saturday because there is no Premier League football, obviously, this weekend because of the international break. So, anyway, before we get stuck into this, please can I ask you to put a like on the video. Please remember to pass it around to as many different people as you can. And also, please subscribe to my channel. That would be really helpful. It will help me to grow the channel and help me achieve my ultimate goal of getting money out of YouTube for doing this. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Anyway, yeah, not that the money side of it is a big motivation for me. I just enjoy doing the videos, to be quite frank. Anyway, so let's get on with it. I enjoy doing the videos and obviously talking to you lot. So also for those watching it on playback, thank you very much for watching it. And also thank you to anyone who's new and never been to watch one of my videos before. And I'd like to give you a big warm welcome. And put your comments in the comment section. Like I say, if you're watching on playback, about what you think, what you thought about Arsenal's season so far, what they need to do to continue to improve for the rest of the season, and where you think they might end up. So, yeah, let's get on with it. So, first thing you're going to do is going to look at the transfers, the transfer window that we had in the summer. So Arsenal spent in the transfer window that's just gone a grand total of £142.95 million, which I'm led to believe is more than any other club in world football. And with that money, as you can see, they bought in 7 players. They bought in Nuno Tavares from Benfica for £7.2 million. They bought in Albert Sambi Lokonga, or as some of our fans like to call him, Uncle Albert, for £15.75 million. A guy by the name of Mika Berith, although I've never seen him play and I've never heard of him. I think he's a youth team player because I think he's playing in Arsenal's academy now. Ben White, who Arsenal splashed £50 million on, and was Arsenal's most expensive signing of the summer. Personally, I don't think we really needed a centre back, to be quite frank. But Apparently, he's quite versatile. He can play at right back as well. Yeah, I would have preferred Arsenal to have spent the money on a commanding world-class defensive midfield player. But what do I know? I'm just some numpty who sits on a YouTube channel and talks nonsense most of the time. So, yeah, never mind. And then they spent £30 million on Martin Odegaard from Real Madrid, who was a child prodigy and signed by Real Madrid, but got rarely used. And Arsenal managed to snap him up during the summer. Aaron Ramsdale from Sheffield United for £24 million. And finally, last but not least, they got Takehiro Tomiyasu from Bologna for £16 million. So there you go, folks. That was the Arsenal summer transfer window. I have to say I was a bit underwhelmed by it. To be quite honest with you, I'm still not 100% convinced. I think these young lads that they brought in look like they've all got potential to be really good players, but excuse me, sorry about that. They look like they've got potential to be really good players, but that's all it is. We needed players that are ready to go and are going to push us forward now, not in 2 years' time or 3 years' time or 4 years' time, 5 years' time, or whatever it is. And this whole notion about it being a youth project and that they're all going to grow and they're all going to develop and come good all together. I'll be very, very surprised if that happens, purely because they're human beings. And as we all know, human beings develop at different rates and different paces. There's all sorts of different variables that come into it. It's not like a computer program or something like that you can just suddenly determine when it's going to happen. It's not like that. So anyway, but yeah, a lot of the players, now they're here. I'm really happy with them. I've liked the look of a lot of them. I've liked the look, obviously, of Aaron Ramsdale, the goalkeeper, and I like the look of Albert Sambi Lokonga and Takehiro Tomiyasu. But the thing is, I keep asking myself the question, if these people were as good as the likes of Terry from Claude and the Banstas seems to think they are, why is it that no other club was going in for them to sign them? Because if they were, surely there would have been like some of the top clubs around Europe have been trying to get them as well. I'm not disappointed that they didn't, but that's the question I'd like to ask. And I still maintain my feeling that I think they would be good backup players for if we had a top level squad. Because how many of these players would walk into the Man City team? How many of these players would walk into the Liverpool team? How many of these players would walk into the Chelsea team? So, yeah, that's my thoughts on the summer transfer window. So, the fixtures this season, we've played 11 Premier League games and 3 League Cup matches so far. And in the League Cup, we defeated West Bromwich Albion's youth team by 6-0 at the Hawthorns. We defeated AFC Wimbledon 3-0 at the Emirates Stadium. And then in the fourth round recently, we defeated Leeds United by 2-0. So we're yet to concede a goal in the League Cup, which is good. That's impressive. And we've scored 11 goals. So that's great. That's really good. However, the Premier League got off to a really, really, really tricky start. We lost the first 3 games by conceding 9 goals and not scoring any. And here's some chats here. The Old School Gunners in the chat. Afternoon, Old School Gunner. How are you, sir? He says, all right, what's up? And he says, the Warrenator. Thank you, man. It was nice to see you. Thanks for popping in to see me. I'm glad to see that you're back, mate, and in Europe. I hope that you're settling back in all right. So... And then after that, the results slowly started to improve a little bit. I'm not so sure about the performances, but the results did. So the pick outs for me of that run were a 2-0 win at Leicester City in the league, and a 3-1 win over Tottenham, of course, in the Premier League at home, and a 3-1 win against Aston Villa at the Emirates. So there, for me, were the pick outs, the best performances so far this season. And then this was the Premier League table after 3 games. And as you can see, Arsenal were rooted to the bottom of the table. Like I said, having scored no goals and conceded 9 and lost 3 games. And the bitter pill for most Arsenal fans was the fact that Tottenham was sat top of the table, having won all their first 3 games, scored 3 and not conceded any. So, yeah, that was horrible. It really was. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to try and break down our Premier League performances and pick out how the win percentages slowly increased and how our position in the league has gone right down and then started to climb up again. So after the first game at Brentford, which we lost 2-0, we were sat 17th in the league with a 0% win percentage. And then after the second game against Chelsea at home, which we lost 2-0, we were sat 19th in the table with a 0% win percentage. And then after the third game, the Etihad Stadium against Manchester City, we got absolutely thumped 5-0, a game which saw Granit Xhaka foolishly getting sent off and getting a little slap on the bottom from his manager, Mikel Arteta. And then after that, the next game was a 1-0 win at home to Norwich City, which saw us get a 25% win percentage and climb up to 16th. The next game saw us win 1-0 away at Burnley, and that took us up to 13th in the table and increase our win percentage to 40%. And then finally, most recently, last weekend, we played Watford at home in the Premier League, a game which we won by 1-0, and we climbed up to 5th in the table, and we've now got a 55% win percentage. So as you can see by looking at this, the win percentage has slowly gone up. And then there was a couple of troughs when we had a couple of draws amongst those games. Most notably after the game against Brighton and then the game against Crystal Palace, which in my opinion, I thought we were lucky to get a draw out of. But now it's sitting on 55%, which for me still isn't good enough. We're sat fifth in the table, and yeah, again, that's not good enough for me, in my opinion. And then the Old School Gunners come in with another chat saying, "Great channel." Thank you very much, Old School. Just while he's here, I just want to remind everyone to go and subscribe to the Old School Gunners YouTube channel. He does excellent content. He uploads on a regular basis, usually every day. is a mad, passionate Arsenal fan. So those of you who are watching this are Arsenal fans. You won't you will not regret, I can assure you, subscribing to his channel, because it's absolutely superb. Very, very good channel. So go and check him out, show him some love, and go and see what he's got to offer, because it's really good quality stuff, and I really enjoy watching these videos. So yeah, so let's move on now. What we're going to do now is look at the League Cup. League Cup has been superb. We've so far we've scored 11 goals and not conceded any. We've got 100% win percentage, albeit that we played a League One side, a Championship side's youth team, and then Leeds United at home. So in the next, I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, in the next round we've got Sunderland at home. So that should be another comfortable evening with any luck. But with this lot, you never really know. And the thing that worries me about that Sunderland game, I have to say this, is that when I was growing up and watching the Arsenal, we always used to have loads of trouble with Sunderland. It was always a really, really difficult game. So, yeah, I have to say I'm a bit worried by that. And Old School Gunner says, come and subscribe to King Warren. Thank you very much, Old School. The old crown's sort of sitting over there on the side at the moment. So after this is finished, I'll probably try and put it back on again. Yeah, 139 subscribers and counting. Yes, there's something weird happening with my subscribers. I don't know what's going on. I might talk to you about that later, because I can't figure out what the hell's going on. It's a bit mad. But anyway, yeah. So let's move on, as they say. So the season totals are, so far this season, we played 14 games. We've won 9, drawn 2, and lost 3. We scored a grand total of 24 goals and conceded 13, which gives us a 64.29 win percentage. And if that was a 3 points for win and 1 point for a draw system, we'd be sitting on 29 points. The thing that worries me about this, I don't want to be negative, is that 24 goals from 14 games isn't enough. It's not. That's just under, how much is that? Let me just work it out. So 14 divided by 24. Yeah, that's 0. Yeah, it's just under 0.6 goals a game, and that's not enough. That's nowhere near enough. So, yeah, we need to do some work on our attacking, on our tactics for attacking the opposition, because we're not scoring enough goals. That's what that tells me. So, now, this is the most recent league table. And as you can see, after the third game of the table, when we were bottom, we're now sat 5th. We're only 2 points behind Liverpool and 6 points behind the league leaders Chelsea, which is the one I'm really worried about. Because I want us to be number 1. I want us to be out in front. I don't want to see us languishing in 5th. That's of no use to me. It isn't. It's not good enough. So, and if you look at that, you can see that all the teams above us have got scored more or less double the amount of goals that we have. Liverpool has scored 31, and they've scored the most in the league. West Ham have scored 23, so 3 shy of double the amount of goals we've scored. Manchester City have scored 22, which will be 4 shy of double what we've scored. And Chelsea have scored 27, which, again, that's over double what we've scored. And then defensively, Chelsea and Man City have conceded. Chelsea have conceded a third of what we have, and Manchester City have scored under half of what we have. So we need to score more, and we need to tighten up defensively. So, Mikel, you've got a lot of work in front of you, son. So your Skool report at the moment, I'd say, would be a C-. So what we're going to do now is we're going to look at the player performance statistics for this season. And as this stream is very heavy on statistics, I thought it'd be quite apt at this point to quote the famous Mark Twain, where he said, there are 3 kinds of lies: lies, damn lies, and statistics. So there you have it. I couldn't have put it better myself, really. But it's the only way I can think of is to compare our players and compare how we and look at how we perform and get any sort of idea about what's going on. So if we look at the goal scorers for this season, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang has played 10 games, 1 as a substitute, and he scored 7. Emile Smith-Rowe from midfield has played every single league game with 2 substitute appearances and scored 5, which is a good return for a midfield player, I have to say. Lacazette, who's made 4 appearances, 5 as a substitute, and scored 3. Bukayo Saka has made 11 appearances and 2 as a substitute and scored 2. And Eddie Nketiah has made 2 appearances and scored 2. So, yeah, there you go. That's the main goal contributors. Then if we look at the assists, Bukayo Saka has played 11 games with 2 substitute appearances and managed to get 3 assists. Nicolas Pepe, the much maligned Nicolas Pepe, has played 7 games with 2 as a substitute and got 3 assists. And Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang has played 10 games, 1 as a substitute and got 2. And Emile Smith-Rowe has played 11 games with 2 as a substitute and got 2 assists. So there you have it, people. So the Premier League goals in the Premier League, Emile Smith-Rowe at the moment is our leading goal scorer with 4 goals, joint equal with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Emile Smith-Rowe's played one more game than Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and seems to me that this year there's more goals from midfield than there was last season, which is a good thing. And then the assists, Bukayo Saka has got 2 from 10 games. Emile Smith-Rowe has got 2 from 10 games. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang has got 1 from 9 games. And then Nicolas Pepe has got 1 from 5 games. So that's for the Premier League, those statistics for the goals and assists. So the clean sheets, Bernd Leno has made 5 appearances this season and got 2 clean sheets. And these statistics include appearances in the League Cup as well. And Aaron Ramsdale has made 9 appearances and got 6 clean sheets. So it's clear to see who has performed best. So where have the goals come from? What parts of the pitch? So there's been 13 goals and 6 assists from the forwards. There's been 9 goals and 6 assists from midfield. And then there's been 2 goals and 1 assist from the defence, which is, so far, that's not too bad, but it needs to be better. It really does. And last year, the goals from midfield were a big problem. It was one of our biggest problems. So it's nice to see that that's slowly improving, but it needs to improve more. Now, in terms of player ratings, now I've got these player ratings from the BBC website, and the other thing that's interesting about this, it shows that up until his injury, Kieran Tierney had played every game. Bukayo Saka has played every game, and Emile Smith-Rowe has played every game. And they're I think I'm right in saying that they're the only 3 players who've played every game so far. Well, Tierney, I believe, would have played the other 3 games, but he got injured. But Bukayo Saka and Emile Smith-Rowe have both played every game. And I don't think it's any coincidence that both Kieran Tierney and Bukayo Saka have looked exhausted. And for me, it's because they haven't had a proper break. They've been playing consistently for nearly 2 years. So they need to have a break. And the final column there, you can see the average player ratings for each player. And it shows that Pablo Mari has been the worst. No, he hasn't. Sorry. Callum Chambers has been the worst performer. And the best performer, according to this, has been Aaron Ramsdale. So far, the player of the season, let's see who the player of the season has been so far. So it's no surprise to see that Arsenal's player of the season so far is Aaron Ramsdale. Now, that is a major worry for me, to be quite frank. I'm very happy for him that he's been the best player so far. But I don't think it's sustainable. You can't have the goalkeeper being the best player on the pitch week in, week out, stuff like that. I mean, the reason for that is because it shows that he's having to put in a lot of work, and that shows that the opposition are getting a lot of shots off. And that, for me, is a big, big worry. So the fact that has been our best player, I mean, what I like about him is the way that he organises the defence, and he's very vocal, which is something that Bernd Leno never really used to do that much. So it's good to see. So, but yeah, it does worry me, this business about the fact that he is consistently recently been Arsenal's best player. So the team performances, now this is where it for me got really interesting, and I'm going to compare it with last season. So last season, now this is the goals per game. So last season, Eddie Nketiah scored 2 goals in 2 appearances. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, this season, Eddie Nketiah scored 2 goals in 2 games. Aubameyang has scored 7 in 10. And then Emile Smith-Rowe has scored 5 in 11. So then if you compare that with last season, Lacazette scored 13 goals out of 22 appearances and 9 substitute appearances. Aubameyang scored 10 goals from 26 appearances. Sorry, 25. Is it 26? Yeah, 26 appearances and 3 substitute appearances. Nicolas Pepe scored 10 goals from 16 appearances and 13 as a substitute. Which for me, that's quite a good return given the amount of substitute appearances he had. And then Bukayo Saka scored 5 goals from 30 appearances and 2 substitute appearances. So if we move on now and look at the assists per game. So this season, the biggest assister per game has been Nicolas Pepe. He's contributed 3 assists from 7 games. Saka has contributed 3 from 11. And the next highest one was Aubameyang, who's contributed 2 from 10. And Emile Smith-Rowe, who's contributed 2 from 11. And then last season, Emile Smith-Rowe contributed 4 from 18 games. Willian contributed 5 from 16. And Callum Chambers contributed 2 from 8 games. And Martin Odegaard contributed 2 from 9 games. And Bukayo Saka contributed 4 from 30 games. So that tells quite an interesting story for me, really. So goal contributions to game. Then this is where I club the goals and assists together. And the number one, so far this season, the number one goal contributor per game has been Eddie Nketiah. Obviously because of his 2 goals from 2 games. But then if you take him out of the equation, the number one contributor has been Aubameyang, who's contributed 0.82 goal, has made 0.82 goal contributions per game. And then beneath that, it's been Emile Smith-Rowe with 0.54, Lacazette with 0.44, and Nicolas Pepe with 0.44, and Bukayo Saka with 0.38. And then if we compare that with last season, Lacazette contributed 0.48 goals per game. Aubameyang contributed 0.45, and Nicolas Pepe contributed 0.38. And then Emile Smith-Rowe contributed 0.30. So, yeah, that's quite interesting for me because you can see there's been quite a marked improvement. Not enough, I have to say, not enough, but it's improving. But we need to do a lot of work on our attacking play because for me, it's not good enough and it's not sustainable. At some point, we're going to start losing games, and I'm not convinced that we've got the wherewithal to get ourselves back into a game if we go behind. Number of times this season, I've seen us play games where we've gone ahead and then we've gone back into our shell to try and defend the lead, which is fine, but it's not good to watch and it's not convincing to me. It's a big worry. It is a big worry. So, So there you go. That's my review for the season for so far for the 2021-22 season. I hope you've enjoyed that. Please put a comment in the video telling me what you thought about my analysis, and also about what you thought about this season so far, where you think we're likely to finish, and where you think we need to improve on. For me, I think we need to be on the front foot far more than what we are. We need to be scoring more goals. The evidence of that is in the league table, and the difference between the amount of goals that our competitors have scored and conceded in comparison with ourselves. So, yeah, there's a lot of work for the club to do, and I'm still of the mind that Mikel Arteta is not the right man to lead this club forward. I think a coach with a lot more experience than him would have done a much better job, and we would be much further down the line had we not wasted the last 2 years faffing about with someone who doesn't know what they're doing. And he's still, for me, showing really worrying signs with his man management and his game management, amongst other things. But I'm not going to I don't want to turn this stream into a Mikel Arteta bashing session, because I've done that enough recently. The team is showing good signs of improving, but we got some big games coming up in the next few games, and it'll be a good indication of how we're doing as a club and how we're moving forward. I mean, we've got to play Liverpool. We're going to be playing Newcastle. We've got a new coach, I believe, and also Manchester United very soon. So that'll be interesting to see what happens in those games. Anyway, so thanks very much, guys. Please remember to put a like on the video. Please remember to subscribe to my channel. And please remember to share the content around. And remember to look after yourselves and look after all your friends and family and all the people that are important to you. And share some love and kindness around the world. And I'll be back soon with another video. I'm currently working on another video which is about the FA Cup. I've decided to pick out a team and follow them all the way through the FA Cup until they get knocked out. And then whoever knocks that team out, I will then follow that team. This is something I used to do years ago, and it's quite fun, actually. It's very interesting. So I'm working on that, and I'll be putting that out soon. Anyway, I hope you have a great day, and thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all again soon. So take care, everyone. Take care now. Bye for now.